Hello, today is November 20th, a Friday, and I'm reading episode 36 of all of these jokes. And episode 36 will be the last grouping, which may please some and maybe not others. Anyway, three women were sitting side by side in a very noisy cafe one afternoon, reminiscing. The first recalled shopping at the grocery store in her early married life and demonstrated with her hands the length and thickness of a cucumber that she could buy for a fraction of today's prices. The second woman nodded, adding that onions used to be much bigger. She demonstrated the size of the two big onions she used to pick up on her weekly shopping trip. Then the third woman chirped in with, "I can't hear a word you're saying, but I remember the guy you're talking about." A wild rabbit was caught and taken to a National Institutes of Health laboratory. When he arrived, he was befriended by a rabbit that had been born and raised in the lab. One evening, the wild rabbit noticed that his cage hadn't been properly closed and decided to make a break for freedom. He invited the lab rabbit to join him. The lab rabbit was unsure, as he had never been outside the lab, but the wild rabbit finally convinced him to give it a try. Once they were free, the wild rabbit said, "I'll show you the number 3 best field," and took the lab rabbit to a field full of lettuce. After they had eaten their fill, the wild rabbit said, "Now I'll show you the number 2 best field," and took the lab rabbit to a field full of carrots. After they had had their fill of carrots, the wild rabbit said, "Now I'll show you the number 1 best field," and took the lab rabbit to a warren full of female bunnies. It was heaven, non-stop love-making all night long. As dawn was beginning to break, the lab rabbit announced that he would have to be getting back to the lab. "Why?" said the wild rabbit. "I've shown you the number 3 best field with the lettuce, the number 2 best field with the carrots, and the number 1 best field with the ladies. Why do you want to go back to the lab?" The lab rabbit replied, "I can't help it. I'm dying for a cigarette." On a cross-country flight, an older woman started to panic. Having located a doctor to help her, the flight attendant warned the doctor that the woman was a little hard of hearing. The doctor approached the woman. "Ma'am, I'm a doctor, and I'm going to help you get through this." "What's that?" "I said I'm going to help you get through this. Now, big breaths." "Well, they used to be anyway," the woman replied sadly. One day, these two fine Southern ladies were sitting on the front porch having some iced tea. One of the women sticks out her hand for the other to see, and in her long Southern drawl says, "Look at this ring my husband gave me. Isn't it nice?" To which the other woman replies, "Oh, that's nice. That's real nice." The first woman then says, "And just last month he took me on one of the Caribbean cruises." The second woman again replies, "Oh, that's nice. That's real nice." And the first woman again says, "Well, sweetheart, doesn't your husband ever buy you nice things or send you nice places?" "Oh," the second woman responds, "when we first got married, he did send me to etiquette school." "Why did you do that?" the first woman asks. To which the second fine Southern woman replies, "Well, you see, before, when someone told me about the jewelry their husband gave them, or the trips he sent her on, I would have just said bullshit, but now I say that's nice. That's real nice. A depressed young woman from a Manhattan finishing school was so desperate that she decided to end her life by throwing herself into the ocean. When she went down to the docks, a handsome young sailor noticed her tears, took pity on her, and said, "Look, you've got a lot to live for. I'm off to Europe in the morning, and if you like, I can stow you away on my ship. I'll take good care of you and bring you food every day." Moving closer, he slipped his arm around her shoulder and added, "I'll keep you happy, and you'll keep me happy." The girl nodded. What did she have to lose? That night the sailor brought her aboard and hid her in a lifeboat. From then on, every night he brought her 3 sandwiches and a piece of fruit, and they made passionate love until dawn. 3 weeks later, during a routine search, she was discovered by the captain. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "I had an arrangement with one of the sailors," she explained. "He's taking me to Europe, and every night he came and screwed me." "He sure did, lady," said the captain. "This is the Staten Island ferry." And for those of you who have been listening and watching, thank you very much. And for those who didn't, well, you don't know what you missed, I hope. Anyway, thank you very much. Bye-bye.